So next up, we are starting really on question 19. 18 is just this question. What do cells use for energy? How do we get this energy? So you probably realize the ultimate source of energy is the sun, of course. So the sunlight is the ultimate energy for all life on Earth. What plants are doing is storing that energy in the chemical bonds of sugar, glucose. And then during cell respiration, all that energy is released as ATP. And so that's how everything all fits together. Plants store that energy from the sun into sugar. Cell respiration, what we do in animals, we break that down, turn it into ATP. So, of course, good old ATP, we've talked about this several times. Adenosine triphosphate, here's your 3 phosphates, and really the phosphate does include those oxygens too, but you get a high energy bond between the second and third. You need to have that, so if you got rid of this one altogether, you would have a DP, 2 phosphates, you don't have the energy. And so what's happening is there is a free phosphate over here, and it can be reattached to a DP. This is called phosphorylation. Another one of those big words just means we added a phosphate. So phosphate added, phosphorylation. And this is showing the same thing. And so making ATP from ADP and phosphate, and then when we break it down, doing work or whatever, we'll bring it back down to ADP. So now we're going to get into the different parts of photosynthesis. So here's a video. You can watch this. However, we will be looking at this in class. So we'll go back to that because I don't want to waste our time on those. So our 2 different reactions that make up photosynthesis. The first one is the light reaction or light dependent. So this one, like the name implies, needs the sun. It needs light. And what's happening is it's going to produce energy from the solar power of the sun, which are in the form of photons. And it produces that energy in the form of ATP and NADPH. So we have a lot like that NADH, like cell respiration, but you can consider that P like for photosynthesis. And so we're going to produce energy. We're going to be producing ATP in this light reaction. We have our sun. This is going in, so the light dependent one is over here using these photosystems, and again it's producing ATP and NADPH, which we're going to later use in the Calvin cycle. Notice instead of 3 stages, there are just 2 stages of photosynthesis: the light dependent and the light independent, also known as the Calvin cycle. The second part, like I said, the Calvin cycle, or light independent. So this doesn't happen in the dark. This still happens in the light, but it doesn't have to have those photons. So also can be called carbon fixation or C3 fixation. Love to have multiple names. It's going to use that ATP and NADH from the light reaction to make sugar. That's its whole purpose. And so this is just showing, here we are in a chloroplast. Looking inside the chloroplast, we're going to use water, bring out, here's our products, bringing out oxygen and glucose. We brought in water, carbon dioxide, and the sun. And so you can see right here we're giving NADPH and ATP to the Calvin cycle. In return, the Calvin cycle has NADP plus, ADP, and phosphate. So we're using each of those.